June 1936, Tokyo suburbs. A homemade race car screams down the track at 75 miles per hour. The driver, a 30-year-old mechanic with grease under his fingernails and fire in his eyes, pushes harder. Then, metal shrieks. The world flips. Glass shatters. Silence. When they pull him from the wreckage, his face is mangled, his arm shattered, his shoulder dislocated. The doctors say he's lucky to be alive. 4 months later, he's back on the track. This is the untold story of Soichiro Honda. 1906, a village near Mount Fuji, Japan. Poverty so deep that 5 of Soichiro Honda's siblings don't survive childhood. His father hammers metal in a blacksmith shop. His mother weaves cloth until her fingers bleed. There's no money, no opportunity, no future. But at 8 years old, Honda hears something that changes everything. A rumble, low, mechanical, alive. He runs toward the sound, and there it is, a Ford Model T, the first automobile he's ever seen. He chases it down the dirt road, lungs burning, eyes wide. How does it move on its own? That question becomes an obsession. Honda hates school. He forges his father's signature on report cards and spends his days in the repair shop instead. At 15, he sees an ad for an automobile service company in Tokyo, Art Shokai. He writes a letter. They say yes. He arrives with dreams of building engines. Instead, they hand him a broom and a baby. For months, Honda cleans floors and babysits the owner's child. He's humiliated, furious, but he can't go home, not as a failure. Then, slowly, the owner notices. Honda's hands are fast, precise, obsessed. He's given a wrench, then a carburetor, then a racing engine. By 1924, Honda and his mentor build a race car called the Curtiss, powered by a biplane engine. It wins first place at the Japanese Motor Car Championship. Racing becomes Honda's religion, but religion demands sacrifice. 1936. Honda's tired of fixing other people's machines. He wants to build. He proposes turning his repair branch into a manufacturing company. The shareholders say no. So Honda quits. He opens his own factory, Tokai Seiki Heavy Industry, to make piston rings. Toyota gives him a contract, 50 pistons. Only 3 pass inspection. Honda doesn't sleep. He travels across Japan, studying metallurgy at universities, visiting steel plants, learning chemistry he never cared about in school. He enrolls as a part-time student at 30 years old, sitting in classrooms with teenagers because he refuses to fail. Then the world catches fire. 1941. Japan enters World War II. Honda's factory is seized by the military. In 1944, a bomb destroys it. In 1945, an earthquake flattens what's left. When Japan surrenders in August 1945, Honda has nothing. He sells the ruins to Toyota for 450,000 yen and tells the world he's taking time off. But inside, he's already planning his next move. Post-war Japan is broken. People can't afford food, let alone gasoline. Cars sit abandoned in streets. One day, Honda finds a small generator engine from a discarded military radio. He stares at it, then at a bicycle leaning against a wall. What if? In 1946, in a cramped warehouse with 12 men and spare parts, Honda bolts that engine to a bicycle frame. It works. They sell out immediately. But surplus engines run out fast, so Honda designs his own, the Type A. In 1948, he founds the Honda Motor Company. His first motorcycle, the Model D, flops. Too big, too heavy. So he builds again, lighter, faster, simpler. 3 years later, the Super Cub is born. It wins the Emperor's Prize. It outsells Harley-Davidson and Triumph in their own countries. By the 1960s, Honda is the largest motorcycle company on Earth. But Honda isn't done. In 1963, despite warnings from the Japanese government, we don't need another car company, Honda enters the automobile market. He debuts the T360 mini truck, then the S500 sports car, then in 1964, the Honda RA271 Formula One race car. 1 year later, it wins the Mexican Grand Prix. In 1972, during the global oil crisis, Honda releases the Civic, a small, fuel-efficient car with a revolutionary engine. It becomes one of the best-selling cars in history. By the 1980s, Honda is the third largest car company in the world. Soichiro Honda retired in 1973. He passed away in 1991 at 84 years old. Before he died, he said this: "Looking back on my work, I feel that I was doing nothing more than mistakes, blunders, and serious omissions, but I am proud of the achievements. My mistakes and failures never occurred for the same reasons." Today, Honda builds cars, motorcycles, jets, robots, and boat engines. It's a global empire worth billions. But it started with a boy chasing a car down a dirt road, a mechanic who swept floors and refused to quit, a man who turned every failure into fuel. History remembers the companies, but it often forgets the dreamers who refuse to let failure be final. And that is the untold spirit.